You are audible.
Okay. It's my pleasure to be here on this platform, which has been running its webinars, I think for the first time in world history, I must say, because I have been pursuant of United Nations webinars and all this. So for the first time in world history, 6 days mega webinars has being organized by Crop New Delhi, especially Sanjay ji, and ERDMP Academy Bhopal, Rakesh Bhai sir. So nice of you to be here to discuss on the goal. First, as a academician, my focus point is because it is related to International Disaster Risk Reduction Day. So the very theme and goal of, I am audible, please? Hello?
You are audible. You are audible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. You are audible.
Yeah. So goal of DRR 20 is to reduce casualties so far as disasters are concerned in terms of injury, death, displacement, and livelihood. These are 4 basic focused points and goal. And the very theme is disaster risk governance. So in today's webinar, I would request all the audience and panelists and speakers and myself to let me focus on the very theme, the very beginning. So Shri N. Bose Babuji, he is our chief speaker, and I must say it's my pleasure to go through his CV because he himself reflects the very industry knowledge, I must say, because his profile is so rich, and perhaps central government's planning is not perhaps, it is 100%. Central government is planning to promote gas-based economy. And in gas-based economy, which needs massive network of pipelines for transportation of gas in each and every corner of the country, here, in my opinion, and you will also be convinced, Shri N. Bose Babuji, Chief Executive Officer and Director. It's a long span of time, more than 20 years, of GITL and GSPL India Transco Ltd. He is here to share his views and his key note address to us. So he is a think tank for changing the image of India in the world scenario, and that image of India is going to be gas-based economy. So I would like to be honored and privileged to invite Shri N. Bose Babuji for his presentation so that I may learn a lot. And after that, my humble feelings are there for D.P. Tiwari ji, retired IAS. It was so nice talking to him this afternoon. He is such a brilliant scholar and so humble. He when I told about today's discussion, he just said, Madam, N. Babuji has been my boss. So this word shows how humble he is. In fact, he has been, I am happy to learn from him that he has been basically in government degree college, that is in Madhya Pradesh. And after that, his subject has been economics. And after that, he became IAS. It's my privilege. And one more thing, he has worked in GITL for 6 years. So he is also a great mentor so far as gas-based economy is concerned. Really, I am so happy to find both these speakers and prominent experts on this forum. Thanks a lot. My request to Professor, now he has become professor, because in our terminology, professor means who profess. And हमारी जो Shri Bose Babu ji hai, he has professed pipeline networking projects. Please, you come on the forum and get us benefited by your so enriched profile and experiences. So please.
Thank you, madam, for your nice words and good introduction.
Thank you.
It's a coincidence, I can say, that today is the World Student Day. Okay.
Very nice.
So I just want to inform to everyone, we all learning each day we pass. So there is nothing like that, I think, because a professor or a doctor or engineer or whoever it may be, because in our own professions, we learn every day. So I'm sure, because while we talk something, I think, because there will be a lot of questions and then a lot of discussions, exchange. So I will be also learning a lot. And of course, like you said about Tiwari sir, I think he's really a very humble man. And I'm sure, because I'm not his boss, because he worked with us, he was as an advisor. And I'm sure because we gained a lot of benefit because of his being in our team. So I'm proud to have Mr. Tiwari also in our team. And one more important day today is the birthday of our Honorable Ex-President of India, Shri APJ Abdul Kalam. So I think it's a very big coincidence today, and I'm happy and glad to share this to all the members. Though I'm on leave since a couple of weeks, and I'm at home, and I try to prepare my presentation, I think, at the best manner, whatever it be possible. And I think I should thank my daughter also to make this presentation ready. Okay, so now let me share my presentation. Can the presentation be visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible. We are good to go, sir.
Okay, first of all, I should thank Dr. Rakesh Dubey for inviting me to have a small sharing of my knowledge today on this platform, though I think there are a lot of experts in this area, because I'm a small guy in this entire the chain of events and then the speakers here. Though I have a little experience on emergency and risk disaster and all, but I can share my experience and my knowledge and my views on the forum. So this is a standard disclaimer I used to keep, because whatever I speak, I think it's on my personal capacity, it's nothing to do with any of entities or any other companies involved. So since we are talking about risk reduction, so first of all, we should understand about natural disasters at a glance, especially onto the pipeline areas. So natural disasters, we all know it. What are the natural disasters? So either it can be earthquake, the flood because of lightning, landslides. So these are all the major issues we find day in, day out across the world. And the pipelines are the same everywhere in the world. So if there is an effect because of landslide, it will be the same either in India or Malaysia or the US or Canada. So we all here to see and study how we can mitigate the natural disasters. There are some of the man-made disasters. So there are natural disasters. In any case, it's beyond our control, human control. So that there are man-made disasters. This is main concern for all the engineers, especially, I can say, to can mitigate this or reduce these things, which is possible, which is very well possible. So these are all some of the incidents, mainly because of wrong designs, poor quality controls, poor maintenance, and third-party damages, and a lot of encroachments on the pipelines. These are all some of the issues what is created by the people. So these are all can be managed and controlled or reduced. So if you see that the results of any kind of disasters, end of the day, there will be a loss of life, a loss of property, and the damage to the environment. So this is bound to happen. It may be the volume may be higher or lower or little bit plus minus here and there, but this is bound to be there in some form. So we have to be very, very careful. We cannot negate or think that I think because this is not a major one, or any simple or minor cases also has to be seen very, very seriously so that we can avoid a major fatality or disaster. So we have to be very, very careful in minor things. So coming to my areas, though I have the vast experience on looking after partly and upstream, midstream mainly, and the downstream. So I've been asked to share some of the views on the city gas distribution network area. So let me just brief a little bit the gas, the supply chain, how it happened. Because when we start exploring the gas, whatever it comes from the wells, it is the first one is the dry gas, which can be straight away put into the pipeline and be exported to the terminals. Second is there is associated gas where is a mixture of the water, oil, and all, and there is a wet gas. So there are three types of gases which is coming. The first one will go straight away to the terminals and the pipeline, and the second will go to the process plants from where it has to be processed, and then it will be supplied to the petrochemical plants, or it will be LPG, and it will go to the refineries and all. And most important part is, I think wherever we produce the gas, there is a chances that where we can liquefy the gas and directly move through ships because it's a liquid form, and then dispatched to the areas where I think the gas is required. There again we have the regasification facilities, and it will be connected to the gas grid. So there is how the gas, the supply chain works. Now coming to these areas, there is mainly the difference between the transmission and the distribution. So transmission networks normally carry the high pressures and the huge volumes. So, and it's normally done in the cross-country levels. And the city gate is where the point that the CGD start developing the main areas. So it can be a little bit sub-transmission pipelines also in between, but the main activities will start for the CGD from the city gate station. So there is a called geographical area because it is not limited to a city or town or a district or something like that, because now the regulatory board has decided to give a particular area. That is the reason why it is called GA, geographical area. Let me just brief a little bit the usage of natural gas, because natural gas is used everywhere, all the industries, right from the glass industries, metal, the steel, textile, powder coating, dairies, pharma, oil and gas, and mainly the vehicles for the CNG, PNG means residents, hotels, hospitals, everywhere, because it's just, you name anything, I think, because the gas usage is there. In fact, especially in cold countries, the gas is used for heating the houses also. There's a major consumption, especially in the winter. So coming to the codes and standards, what we follow, there is the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, where the T4S is already there, which talks about the technical and safety standards. And integrity management system is there to take care of all this operation and maintenance areas. And emergency response and disaster management plan is already in place, which is notified in 2012. And over and above that, we have the Oil Industry Safety Directorate in the country who look after the safety aspects. They also have published some technical specifications on the 226 and the OSD 179. And some other general normal gas industries follows API and the NACE, especially for the design of CP and all. Coming to the main area of the city gas distribution perspective. So prior to 2006, that means the appointment of the regulator, we have only 30 geographical areas in India. Means very limited few areas only people have this network, especially in Gujarat, Delhi, and Mumbai. So majority of the areas, and partly maybe in Mumbai and Calcutta also, there are some areas we have. So no other parts is having this benefit of the gas availabilities other than the industries which is connected through pipelines. So Government of India's target to increase the gas share means basically that energy mix from current 6.4 to 15% by 2030, because that's the target of the Government of India. And of course, we are planning to reach this level by 2030. Even today, the world average is about 28% energy mix. So I think we are way much behind in terms of the infrastructure required for the pipelines as well as the city distribution. So of course, this any pipelines or city distribution will have a huge impact on reduction of carbon dioxide emission. So that's a good thing. This is a clean gas thing. And as a part of the above promotion, I think Government of India, the PNGRB, has authorized currently 228 GAs, which is a big shift from 2006-7 areas. So in last 1 decade, you can see now it has gone up almost 6 to 7 times. Manifolds has increased. So there is a sudden increase in the requirements of the employment, the skilled manpower in the country because of this authorization of 228 geographical areas. And there were few single-digit the companies operating into the CGD business. Today we have about 41 companies who is into this gas business. So there is a statistics worked out on the requirements of only in the CGD. I'm talking about the skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled manpower related to various fields. Like so, you have the welders, plumbers, the CNG operators, and dispensers. There were 3.75 lakhs. Is at least is I think it is 2027, but I think I'm saying even it's required even by 2022. There's a huge the manpower requirement, and this is one major concern. It's a big challenge for all the CGD companies to develop the skills for reaching these targets. Okay, let me go to the risk mitigation towards natural disasters. So there should be adequate precautions shall be taken while selecting the pipeline route, which is I think very important aspect, because through which I think we can prevent, because pipelines can be laid through flood zones, wetlands, it is below the STG power lines, etc., which can create a trouble later on. So, but unfortunately, all the CGD operators has to cover mostly into the cities or in around the cities, and where there is a lot of human occupancies, because it's mainly the people are fully populated areas. We have to do the work, and we have to design this pipeline to the highest level of safety standards and adequate. The quality shall be built in order to take worst case scenarios, because there is the design is always to meet the requirements which can satisfy, or there is a case we can look into next 20 years, 25 years, and considering all this, the disasters, what is going to happen. So there can be a worst case scenarios. So I always prefer that I think we need to see that I think worst case scenarios design is always good. And all pipeline companies shall have the comprehensive emergency management and the mutual aid plan with the similar industries, because it is very important to have the tie-up with the similar industries so that they can understand the impact or implications of the gas failures or gas disasters. So in any events of a disasters, local administration role is very critical, and they're at most important to make sure that CGD operators to restore the service at the earliest, because any disaster or any incident or any emergencies, because in the CGD sectors, because the restoration of the services is very important, because the P pipelines or steel pipeline, anything get disturbed, we don't restore, and it's very difficult for the people to cook the food. because especially if the early morning and evening times it happens, the damage happens in the society. So there won't be gas availability. So if the gas is not available for more than 2 hours, it will be very, very difficult for the society to cook the food for their families. So as a part of this mitigation, one of the critical aspects is the trained personnel, because I think I shown the previous slide, non-availability and employment opportunities or the requirement of skilled people is huge. So that there are lack of a lot of the trained personnel available in the industries. So we have to see that, I think, whenever the emergencies are there, we have to only deploy experience or the trained personnel. Otherwise, it is a big, big problem. So I personally view that at least all the CGD companies should have at least 10% of the total employees trained for handling all the emergencies or the disasters. Because the numbers is big, but it is very, very essential that it is required in order to meet the challenges, because all the CGDs are prone to the damages day in, day out, because all the PE pipelines, there is a lot of third-party damages, which we have to attend immediately, because there's a time-bound actions is also required. It's not that I think because they report incident and then we can attend as per the planned activities. So it has to be attended immediately. And the safety system shall be adequately defined, because that is one of the important aspects, because emergency, the tools, tackles, the resources, the materials, so they should be available. And time to time, the performance of the systems has to be checked periodically to ensure, I think, because it is effective. Otherwise, it's a big problem. Though you have arranged everything, but I think at the time of emergencies, it may be not working. All statutory bodies shall also deploy to only experienced resources for handling emergencies or during the safety audits. Because this, again, my personal view, I've seen, though the authorities come and visit to just only to simply satisfy the rituals rather than giving any value addition. So it is the responsibility of the government or the statutory bodies. So they should educate the operators also, because we cannot expect all the operators are bound or committed to the safety, but there may be lack of the safety awareness and the impact of some non-compliances. So it's the responsibility of all the statutory bodies also to guide these CGD companies rather than simply following the rituals and then give some audit points and go back. And the most important point is in order to mitigate the risk, talking about the soft systems is more encouraged rather than having the hard files or drawings somewhere lying in the racks, which is very difficult to retrieve and find out and go and act. So the soft is always is available for quick information and to all the personnel working on the maintenance areas and emergencies areas, because I prefer that, I think, and it is a requirement as per the regulatory board also. GIS-based systems are preferred for getting the quick access to all the personnel of the required information. So coming to the CG order operators has also has to follow the integrity management system, which is defined as per the regulations. So what is integrity management in the program? I think if you see this slide, this is very interesting slide. So it is the seen and unseen, because this is one of the very my favorite slide. The disaster is also like that, I think, because though it may look very small in the beginning, but I think we are now waiting to a bigger thing to happen, because I always suggest people be attentive and be smart enough to understand the indications what is coming to you. So that integrity management program has very well drafted. There is a standard called 31 point SME B 31.8S, and the regulations is also their integrity management program. It's mainly nicely covered with the 5 elements. One is the management plan and the communication plan, which talks about mainly communicating what we are doing to the entire the stakeholders within the company and external also, and the performance plan. So there is importance of the performance plan. So anything what you the plan has to perform, there is a particular objective for your planning to do certain things. So whether it is meeting this performance or not, so it is well covered in the performance plan. And quality assurance, because there is the quality assurance is required whatever you're doing, so that because you do the repair, but the repair is not properly, that I think you are creating more problems rather than fixing the problem. So we need to be very, very clear to adhere to all the quality assurance norms while having the integrity program. And management of change. Any change, any repairs or any modifications or anything what you're doing in the system on the network has to be communicated to the all, and it has to be approved by the concerned people whoever is originally designed or whoever is looking after. So this program, I think, entirely will give what are we going to do it, how we are going to do it, and how successful we have been doing it. So by implementing this entire integrity, the system, you can achieve these objectives. So it's a put it in a very simple manner. If you see that identifying the threats and apply the risk assessment, and then do the risk mitigations, and then prevention and monitoring. So it's a complete the chain of activities, the plan, implement, check, and then review. So it's like what you follow in ISO 9000 plan, do, check, act cycle, PDC cycle. So it has to continuously do every year, because we cannot say that I think the system has checked this year, so now I'm happy because now I'm not going to bother about next 5 years. So every year we need to keep on checking it. So as a part of the integrity, we have, there is 21 threats identified for natural gas, the pipelines. So again, these 21 threats is categorized into 3. One is the time dependent, because it is certain things can change over a period of time, and certain things are time independent, like natural disasters and all other things. And the third one is the resident, or we call it the nowadays the stable defects. So I think these are all the categorized, and each and every threat has to be seen, and each and every segment. So I think in general, I think you all know it. What is the risk, the probability of failure into the consequence. So it looks very, very simple, and the probability of failure is almost nil. So people think that I think the risk is 0. So the whole world now is not bothered about the probability of failures. They say, see the consequence if it fails. So that is what I think the importance and emphasis has been given. So we have to see that I think what will be the consequence if somewhere it failed. So don't bother about the probability of failure and then be happy that there is no risk, because you have the mathematical models which is available which say that I think there is no risk, or risk is very minimal. So there are various risk assessment tools available. So what is the benefit of this assessment tools? So where will be the next failure? Because we can find out by doing this assessment at least some idea where the failures can happen based on this assessment. And where are the hotspots, like high consequence areas? So how many failures can happen? Where all it can happen? So how can you use my best resources? Because you don't have too many resources to do entire network. So you have to apply your available resources into the priority zones. So that you have to give your priorities to the critical ones. So when will a failure occurs? Because at least you can be rest assured that I think by doing this assessment that you can have some idea on the what is going to happen. So coming to the challenges on the CGD sectors. So as I said that I think because from 30 GS to the 228 GS authorized now, due to that there is a sudden increase in number of the cities, in number of geographical areas, the work and the skill requirements. So that's a huge thing, and it is also the crisis for availability of critical materials like the valves, the regulators, the metering skids, the line pipes, and cylinders, compressors. There's so many areas where its availability, because it's becoming a big issue, which is causing even a delay of the projects and a lot of penalties on these operators. So previously or till date, I think we have about 2,000 plus CNG stations in the country. And this year, I can say 2021 till March 21, another 2,600 numbers of CNG stations are committed by the CGD companies. So you can imagine that I think all the stations, whatever we have till date, and more than that, I think we'll be going to do it this 1 year. So I'm sure, because it is a Herculean task for achieving this goals. And if you see that the manufacturers in India who can do these booster compressors, they can't even manufacture 50% of this target, because the manufacturing capabilities itself is not there. So hence we'll be depending on the imports, and then some other the shortcuts where it can be a possibility of the quality compromises due to the delivery pressures, and ultimately that can lead to a big risk in the industry. So we need to be very, very cautious there. I'm not making any serious concern here, but I think we need to be very, very cautious in this area. And we have very limited service providers or manufacturers here for CNG cylinders, and we don't have many number of cathodic production service providers, and which is very, very important area for all the buried steel pipeline network. And I can count, I think, in a single digit. We are talking about so many companies and so many thousands of kilometers of network, and the number of agencies we can count in a single digit. So are we really geared up to meet this challenge? Because it's a big the challenge. So one of the big challenge of the city gas distribution is you have to do the work within the city limits or municipality limits or municipal corporation limits, where there are already existing so many utilities which is done in a zigzag manner and then haphazardous manner, and there is no other space other than to lay within that area whatever has been given by the municipal corporations or the Gram Panchayat, and due to which I think there will be a lot of the damages to the network. If you see one of the photographs where how the city distribution network, the yellow one, the pipe, what you can see is the gas pipeline, how it is being laid. So you can imagine that I think, because in case of any maintenance or any repair or any emergencies, so how good I think we can implement it, because this I think this photo will talk many words rather than I say. Now, coming to other challenges in the CGD, though we have the network in place, operation and maintenance is another big challenge for the city gas distribution, because we have very limited players who can do the O&M services, and companies doesn't have their own manpower to do on their own departmentally. So we have to depend on the external contractors or agencies, and they should have the competent and experience the manpower to deal with operation and maintenance, and especially the P pipes are prone to the damages at any given point of time. There are the damages, I can say that I think every day not less than 4 to 5 in each company. So you have about 220 companies, and then 4 or 5 incidents every day. So you can imagine that I think because 1,000 the cases are there I think every day. So it can be a fire, it can be only gas loss, or it can be minor one, major one, because you're bound to see even today. That's the minimum I'm talking about. It can be more that if we don't do properly. And the biggest challenge during the COVID we have seen is the entering into the houses is not allowed by the house owners because of the COVID issues. So doing maintenance during that period inside the residence is becoming a big challenge. So we have to learn from this pandemic situations how to mitigate and how to do such things. And even for a meter reading, which is a manual, is not possible, and we are unable to do this, and we have to do it some other methods to do the billing. So because nobody is allowed to go and check the readings in this period. And the majority of the steel pipelines laid in the cities are non-pickable because of you've seen that utilities here and there is a lot of miter bends and then short radius bends where the health check of this pipeline system is a big nightmare. So when we see because there is options of integrity to launch, because we can do that inline inspection, which is possible if it is pickable. So since this is case, it is not possible. So we have the possibility of hydro test. We can close the pipeline, and then we can do the hydro test and put it back to the service. But there is a service disruption, which is again is not possible to shut down any pipelines for maintenance. So the third best option possible is that we have direct assessment. We have internal corrosion direct assessment and external corrosion direct assessment and stress corrosion direct assessment. There's a three possible ways of doing the integrity assessment for the CGD network. So there are some pipeline specific areas is also just bring it to the how to reduce the risk. So there is no dedicated pipeline corridor in India at present, so, and the operators choose their best possible routes to lay the cross-country pipelines. So because of which there are several cases where the residential and commercial establishments were developed very closely to the existing pipelines over a period of time, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, which is posing a big threat to the public in case of any incidents or minor accidents, which they really don't know, because the citizens who is staying around, they may be not knowing the impact of these pipelines, or they may be not even aware of the pipeline is lying behind their house. So there is no guidelines or to restrict the development of residentials or commercial, or maybe even schools, colleges outside the ROA limits. So ROA means, I think, the right of use, what you are going to take for laying the pipeline. That is hardly the 15 meters to 30 meters. But even if you build a house or the college outside this 15 meters, 30 meters, the risk radius is ranging from 100 meters to 200 meters. So in case of any the failures, it can go to up to 200 meters. So it's the big problem. So who will be responsible for this? So though you are maintaining it, but I think there is a third-party damage. So it's not your problem. But ultimately, the schools or colleges or the hostels or old age homes, anything, hospitals, so they are bound to have to face this impact because of their working or living near to these pipelines. So there should be something to be worked out, like town planning department, they issue the schemes without understanding the impact of pipelines passing through that area. So they do their job because they don't bother about it. So there are a lot of political pressures on them to declare the TP schemes. So they build their houses and then they sell it off to the people. And then because of lack of awareness, people buy it, and then it will become a big threat for the people, this thing. So there's no proper awareness on the safety impact to the public. It's very important that public shall be fully aware of the risk associated to the gas. And these companies should see that, I think, because we should make the public aware of these things. So I think I'm on my time scale. I think my last slide on the way forward. It's a good initiative by the Government of India and Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and the Regulatory Board to develop the huge CGD network pan-India to ensure the availability of natural gas for entire the industrial and commercial segments, including CNG, PNG, for all the consumers. In order to reduce the risk, a systematic development along the meticulous planning following a sound engineering practices shall ensure sustainability of the CGD network. So main the point of emphasis I can give it is essential to earn public confidence by demonstrating the quality and safety in daily life, because without that, I think, because if the public start opposing this, because it's very, very difficult to lay any network in the cities or outside around the cities. So we have to be very, very careful on building the public confidence. So there is a need of personal qualification regulations, very important to prevent all man-made disasters. And I feel, in my view, always I promote this single call system shall be introduced at district levels, which can reduce the third-party damages. And several incidents are seen in crowded areas. And even without that, also there is a loss of gas for any damage, because it's a loss to the country. So it's a national loss. So we can prevent this, and I'm sure, because sooner or later, I think we should establish the single call system. So it's a good for the whole country. In my view, there should be a single independent statutory body to oversee safety aspects, especially related to hydrocarbon sectors, and they should be dedicated for each state, because the state has to take the responsibility to ensure there may be central guidelines for that, and the state, that particular department, to oversee do's and don'ts and the reportings and the trainings and awareness. So they can indirectly they can be coordinating with all other government bodies, because each and every operators, they can't go and talk to the other bodies, which is very, very difficult. And the last point, which is very, very important, the learnings from the COVID, is automation systems like the SCADA, along with the GIS-based systems, shall have effective controls in managing the CGDs. So especially this is very, very good for looking after the emergency conditions and such cases like the COVID, and maybe some more things which we don't know what is going to happen in future. So I'm sure this is what I can speak on the CGD aspect for the day. Thank you.
Dr. Rajni, please, can you unmute your mic, please? Ma'am, your mic is mute. 1 minute.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible now, please.
Yeah. Wonderful insight-giving presentation by Bose Babuji. So nice of you, and I am happy that today is the third webinar. I am so happy there is no scope left behind. You have covered all the scenarios so far as pipeline system is concerned, and maintaining sustainability, maintaining risk mitigation, and even maintaining COVID protocols. Very 2-3 points are very much which have attracted me. First is good amount of opportunities for employment. It's a wonderful, I must say, declaration by you, because you and your industry are giving sumptuous amount of opportunities, which is the basic demand in the era of COVID-19, because job facilities and job seekers, they are much more in need, and you have given us a great relief that you have good amount of opportunities for employment. Second point that is very that has interested me a lot, that is quality and safety in daily life. Quality and safety, and for that you have mentioned at the personal level, you will train your staff, you will check opportunities, you will quality and safety in daily life, and after that, wonderful, your idea has been health checkup of pipelines. ये health, daily health checkup of pipelines to make that pipelines are safe and secured and no damage is there, because the platform from Bhopal itself, when we talk about, when we take the name of Bhopal gas can first comes in our mind, and again this time there has been Visakhapatnam gas accident. So we are very happy that you are working on the very key protocols and safety measures. And after that, 2 or 3 queries which on behalf of this forum I would like to share with you. As I have talked 2-3 days earlier with you, there have been so many hurdles Yes, I know there have been so many hurdles which you were talking about, but global disruption, low investment, and cooperative federalism issues, these are somehow going to occur in day-to-day management of your system. Cooperative federalism means gas is in the list of central government, and you have to underground pipelines. So there are challenges from the local farmers and also unviable routes proposed by the state governments, causing major project delays. So how you manage such sort of very typical challenges, please?
Do you want me to answer this?
Yes, I think it's better after that.
Or we can take question answers.
Later on, you just.
Sir, we can't, ma'am, we continue with the sir, and after that, at the end,
A question answer after that. So
yes,
I would like to
I request.
invite. Okay, I would like to invite Mr. D.P. Tiwari ji, retired IAS, a special in-depth insight he has regarding pipeline management in Gujarat itself. He has worked with. So please, though he was willing to hear only, but we also want to hear him. So it's my humble request to Professor, my humble request to Shri Tiwari ji, please.
Thank you very much, sir, ma'am. Because I have come here, I have joined here as a guest of honor. So you have already given honors to me. So I am a guest, and moreover, what we have heard from Bose Babu sahab, because he is expert, he is international authority on this pipeline. He has very widely described about the natural disasters, not only natural gas pipeline, but other disasters also. So he has been conferred so many international distinctions in this field. Really, we are so much honored by his lecture. So time is too short, and I would like to say only a few things, because I am associated presently with the Gujarat Gas Limited, which is a city gas distribution company, one of the largest company in the country. It is working in about 41 districts of the country in about 6 states. So I'm lucky that way, that because I'm an associate still with pipeline projects. And besides this, I have been working for this Indian Institute of Public Administration. It is headquartered at Delhi, but it's regional branches in every state. So I'm honorary secretary of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh branch. So we are organizing every month seminar. So because of this COVID-19, we are now organizing webinars. So recently we have organized one webinar. It's a prelude conference before we assemble in Delhi for our annual general meeting. So on 12th October, we have webinar on this management of pandemics. Rakesh Dubey sahab, who is leading this webinar also, he was our chief guest, and he gave a wonderful lecture on this management of pandemics. If you allow me, I can just give the brief. It is in Hindi, but I can everybody can just understand the Hindi also. Bose Babu sahab, he is expert in so many languages. So I will just read only few lines.
Sure. Ji. Hindi is our mother lung.
मध्य प्रदेश एवं छत्तीसगढ़ क्षेत्रीय शाखा का प्रेल्यूड सम्मेलन 12 अक्टूबर 2020 को ऑफलाइन आयोजित किया गया। इसमें श्री राकेश दुबे, फॉर्मर डायरेक्टर आपदा प्रबंधन संस्थान मध्य प्रदेश हमारे मुख्य अतिथि थे। उन्होंने अपने उद्बोधन कहा कि कोविड-19 का प्रकोप गत 9 माह से चल रहा है तथा इसके निकट भविष्य में समाप्त होने की स्थिति प्रतीत नहीं होती। उन्होंने कहा कि इस महामारी का मुकाबला अनुशासन के द्वारा ही किया जा सकता है। इसमें आपस में दूरी बनाए रखना तथा मुंह पर मास्क लगाए रखना आवश्यक रहेगा। उन्होंने कहा कि इस महामारी में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि मानव स्वभाव, ह्यूमन नेचर में परिवर्तन हो रहा है। वह स्वास्थ्य संबंधी बातें जो हम भूल गए थे वो पुनः सामने आ रही हैं। नमस्ते करने का चलन, घर में आकर हाथ मुंह धोने का चलन जो पूर्व की पीढ़ियों में प्रचलित था, फिर से अपनाए जा रहे हैं। स्वच्छता का विशेष ध्यान रखा जाना इस बीमारी को दूर रखने का बेहतरीन तरीका है। उन्होंने शाखा से अनुरोध किया कि जो मासिक पत्रिका है प्रशासिका, उसमें इन बिंदुओं को प्रमुखता से प्रकाशित किया जाए। उन्होंने कहा कि एक संतोष का विषय महामारी के आरंभ में शारीरिक बचाव के लिए जो वस्त्र पीपीई की काफी कमी महसूस की गई, किंतु अल्पकाल में इसकी पूर्ति न केवल देश में हो रही है बल्कि इसकी निर्यात भी किया जा रहा है। आत्मनिर्भर बनने की ओर बड़ा कदम था। इससे हमें शिक्षा मिलती है कि भविष्य की आपदाओं के लिए पूर्व में तैयारी आवश्यक है। उन्होंने डॉक्टरों, नर्सों तथा अन्य स्वास्थ्य कर्मियों के अथक प्रयास का जिक्र करते हुए कहा कि इस महामारी से अस्पतालों की कई कमियां भी उजागर हुई हैं। ऑक्सीजन की कमी को ध्यान में रखा जाना आवश्यक है। इसी प्रकार रोगी वाहन एम्बुलेंस को भी चुस्त दुरुस्त रखना अनिवार्य है। डॉक्टरों तथा रोगियों के संबंध में भी कभी समस्या उत्पन्न होते दिखती है, किंतु कुल मिलाकर दोनों ओर से संयम बरतते जाने से कष्ट नहीं हुआ। चिकित्सा शिक्षा में इस बात पर विशेष ध्यान जोर दिया जाना आवश्यक होगा कि महामारी अथवा भीषण दुर्घटना जैसे भोपाल की गैस स्टेशन जिसका अभी उल्लेख किया गया कि गैस स्टेशन मुकाबला करने के लिए क्या क्या पूर्व से सावधानी बरती जाना है। गैस त्रासदी के समय पीपी इत्यादि की व्यवस्था थी ही नहीं, जो कि गैस प्रभावित क्षेत्र में जाने के लिए आवश्यक थी। प्रशासकीय कर्मियों के पास भी मास्क इत्यादि नहीं थे। उन्होंने कहा कि महामारी संबंधी विशेष संदेश समय समय पर राज्य सरकार तथा केंद्रीय सरकार द्वारा जारी किए गए हैं। इस संबंध में कानूनी स्थिति अभी भी स्पष्ट नहीं है कि किस अधिकारी का महामारी दौरान क्या दायित्व है। इसमें आवश्यक कार्रवाई की जानी चाहिए ताकि किसी ढिलाई का कोई उदाहरण ना हो। इसमें स्थानीय निकायों की भूमिका का विवरण भी दिया जाना चाहिए। तो इन शॉर्ट दिस वाज अपने किए स्पीच गिवन बाय अपना डॉक्टर राकेश दुबे। So it is also relevant for this present webinar because we have to deal with this pandemic COVID-19 and other disasters as Bose have briefed as already described in very detail. So again, I am so much thankful to Bose because he is not only my guide but a friend and philosopher, not only to me but to everyone who is connected with this pipeline project. So again, I'm thankful to Rajni Srivastava. Whatever I talk to her, I know she is from Prayagraj, where this Singers Mahakumbh Mela is organized for Prayagraj. We know a very, very old institution of the country, and thousands of IAS officers. Earlier, they are Allahabad only. Still, it is the base of those All India services. So, Dubey Saab and Madam Rajni Srivastava and everybody connected with this webinar. I am so much thankful. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tiwari Sirji. So nice of you. I am audible?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, please go ahead.
Nice to go through the address in Hindi by you, because Hindi has been our now it is going to be international language, because our Prime Minister himself, he has taken the guts to speak out in Hindi only. So really it's a pleasure for us too, because Hindi is our Matri Bhasha and it should be. So nice of you. Moreover, COVID is there. So COVID-19 precautions and all the protocols, it has been daily routine in our life too. And I am so happy that you are the life member of IIPA, and myself too, a member of IIPA since long. So this time I will join also the webinar general meeting of IAPA. So nice of you. It must be that we have met there somehow. Because your face looks as if we have met somewhere. I have been a regular visitor in the General Assembly of IAPA. So nice of you. Thanks a lot. Time constant is there, but it's still important thing is that the whole webinar should be very positive and very relevant, and that I am feeling here. So thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Now it's the question.
We will meet in New Delhi on 31st October of this month and 2nd of November.
Yeah, definitely. Dates are there online. I have received the dates. So nice of you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you. Now, I feel this is the time of question answer. So I must invite the question answer. Before inviting the question answer, one very important point I would like to narrate, and that point is N. Bose Babuji has been performing very significant task, and that task is he is developing cross-country pipelines. Bose Babuji, you are developing a cross-country pipeline of approximately 1,881 kilometers, under which first phase of 365 kilometers of pipeline is already completed and commissioned. So it's a big congratulations on our behalf, on this behalf of the ERDMP forum and our crop New Delhi, and we too, because, and now I come to those points, one or two, which are my queries. When I was talking to you, you were telling about the hurdles, but basic hurdles, as you have mentioned in your PPT,
Yes, sir.
2 or 3 more hurdles. I was telling gas and petroleum is in the central list, and you have to go through the boundaries of a state list. So how you manage, because you have to face the challenges at the local ground and at the state level too. Please.
Thank you, ma'am. I think first of all, I think excellent moderation from your side on this issue. I can simply say that the purpose of saying, I think the state level controls is ultimately the network, whatever is being laid in the state is the state domain. Anything happen within the state, there should be somebody responsible within the state. Because if everything, the central government can define the policies and rules and regulations and the previews, no problem. The gas is the central subject, it's not a state subject. But when you lay the pipeline, when something happened, it happened in the state. It doesn't happen in the center. So you cannot say that I think state, you close your eyes, I'm following the central norms, and something happened, then you say that I think you do some audits and then make a report and then submit to all the bodies and then finish. So there should be a state role into the gas areas where, because it's a very, very sensitive and very highly inflammable issue. And several people doesn't understand the impact of this, because I used to train at various forums, especially on the pipelines. I used to give one small example. If you see a small snake, and if you have, I think, about 7-8 years old child, he tried to play with that. He's not afraid of that. And if you ask his father to go and catch hold of the snake, he's not going to near to the snake also. Why? Because his father knows what is the risk associated by touching or going and tampering the snake. So that responsibilities has to, because he has some awareness, I think he knows that I think he's done. But what about the gas? As a common citizen, I don't know what will be the impact of my gas network within my house, or pipeline running in front of my house, or running backside of my house. So that's one of the reason I'm just giving that the emphasis has to be given to the state level also. That is very, very important, because today I find, I think, simply following all the central regulations, you take the permissions, and then the state doesn't have any control. You can simply lay it. Only you take the pollution control clearances wherever that also, if it is environmental case is applicable. Especially CGD, okay. CGD in any case, it is done in the municipal corporation limits. You have to take that. But they can say that that is not our subject. This is central subject. So we have to be very, very clear on these issues, because it cannot, because though I'm talking as an operator side, I'm saying I think we take the responsibility. We have to take it. If you see that as the consumer responsibilities, I'm reading one of the US the regulations. If the gas is not made available to the society, and the company is responsibility to serve all the houses where they are not able to make their food. If it is beyond 4 hours, if it is delayed more than 8 hours, they have to take care of their even the hotel stay also. Because hotel have an alternate arrangement where they have all these heaters and everything is installed. But houses without heaters, they can't live in the houses. The temperature is about -10, -20, 15 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's not only for cooking. So what happened? So the gas is not there because then you have the children, you have the normal people, you have the old age parents. So how can they live in the house? So there is a lot of the penalties there. So we have to be very, very careful in this thing. So we cannot take it lightly. My intention of saying is we have to be more educated to the public, and it's a joint responsibility, because we are doing something good for our own country. We should take the ownership. Okay, I think let us take the question.
Yeah, very nice. I'm audible. Very nice. And one more question from me. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
One more question. Within the power sector itself, gas has received little traction because the per unit cost of electricity generated by gas-fired power plant is higher than that from fossil fuels such as coal and petrol. So this matters, because how you manage all this particular issue?
Ma'am, I think we can't compare the gas cost of power production versus the coal or renewable energy, because everything have a different cost. Okay, and we need to manage as a whole, because we cannot, like, I'll give you an example. Okay, you talk about the pricing. Okay, I understand. Now let me put it in a different way. If a thermal power plant is there which is running on the coal, if they want to start or raise the power production from 100 megawatt to 150 megawatt, they need 8 hours notice or 6 hours at least notice. So where if we see the gas-based industries, gas-based power plant, you just give them, I think now you are produce say 100 megawatts, in 1 hour they can give 100 megawatts. So there is, this gas is normally used as a peak shaving loads purpose. It is not normally used for the routine power production, because it will be costly, definitely. But the consumption of going to the power industry is just hardly 22 to 24% as a whole gas. So majority is going to the fertilizers, the power, and the petrochemicals, refineries, and the CGD sectors. So because the gas is not just only for the power.
One more question from my side, please. Because these are used in basically CNG gas and all this. These are used in
Madam, I will request
transportation.
please.
One
Madam, I will
question.
request.
Just
They are waiting eagerly, please.
It's my personal experience, which let me share with Bose Babuji, because I had a system in my car that was moved by petrol and CNG gas too. But ultimate my car mechanic, they told us that because of CNG gas, the very engine of car gets weak earlier. Is it so?
So what he told is they become weak.
Yeah, because two systems were there. Petrol system was there also, and CNG cylinder was also there. And my car was new, but there was some problem in the engine itself.
No, I don't agree this point to the mechanic what he said.
Yeah.
There should not be any problem with the gas. Okay. In fact, now the technology has changed a lot, and
Very
like
nice.
now I'll bring you from the power plant to your car, you'll be saving at least 35% to compare to
No
the petrol.
doubt. No doubt.
So there will be a small issue in the pickup in the beginning. Otherwise, absolutely, there's no difference in the petrol or the gas. Even the moment, I think, in the beginning only, just for a few seconds, it will be there. After that, you don't find any difference between the running on petrol or the gas.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think it's an automobile question. So it comes in oil and gas. So let's start with
very nice. Question answer
Thanks a
session
lot,
is
sir.
now there. Yeah, question answer session.
Please.
First question there is from, so nice of you, Bose Babuji. So nice of you. You
Thank you,
have
ma'am.
given answer to all the questions, and now I go to the chat box. First question is from Rakesh Bhai Saab. So better he must say it himself.
I think they
Rakesh
can
Bhai
raise the
Saab.
questions directly. I think that's better.
Okay. Question from Rakesh Bhai Saab. Should I? Yeah. Very first question. My question is how we can develop skill manpower required for CGDs in near future. Would you like to highlight the type of category of skilled manpower and how you address the challenges for skill development? By Dr. Rakesh Dubeji.
Yeah, I think that's a big challenge for the CGD operators also. We need the resources. At the same time, the resources cannot just produce like that because we have to train. So we have ITAs, we have the diploma engineers, we have graduate engineers. We need more the technician level, the people, which they can be trained, they can be groomed. I'm sure because it's not a big task, but the challenge is training in a short period. Suddenly, it is going to be a big issue. So, like you take the ITI, you have the plumbing, you have the carpenters, we have the welders. So you have the machine mechanics. There's already available. Some courses are there. So we have to fine tune to our requirements and then use them to the particular skill requirements. So
thank you. One more question from, thank you, Babuji. One more question from, one question at least from Sanjay Srivastava, Colonel Sanjay Srivastava, please. He's in the chat box.
Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful presentation. I'm really honored to hear you, and it's a real pleasure the way you have given us how you are doing risk management. In fact, it's a learning for disaster management sector, what all points you have given, sir. I cannot ask a question to a person of your stature, but my only suggestion is if we can have an integrated command and control and communication system where centrally you are able to monitor everything and you are able to have a communication based response mechanism along with the feedback. And there are systems of, Indian IEC 2016, the standards which have been laid out for petroleum sector. I have very strict observations on that, sir, because those are mainly for the passive, protections. So being a upcoming company, and with your experience, global experience, sir, I feel definitely you will be able to take cognizance of all this, and we'll be happy to serve you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. And it's possible. I think your wish is really possible. And I'm sure, because it's my view also, that I think the country like India, we should have the centralized monitoring systems. Especially, I can say that proudly, all pipelines can be managed remotely.
Absolutely.
Even all our pipelines are unmanned. We call it unmanned. Except security guard, no one will be there. We have more than 180 stations, especially in our group companies, the GSPL. We don't have the people at all.
Absolutely.
So it's all managed through SCADA system as a centralized control room. Even the wall can be closed and open within 2 minutes max. 1 minute to 2 minutes based on the diameter of the pipeline. So it doesn't take more than 120 seconds to shut down, even in case of an emergency. So similarly, I think we should try to implement even for CGD this system. But only thing is, the big challenge is the cost. Are we ready to pay more? Like Madam may say that I think I don't want to pay more for my the CNG vehicle. So there will be a problem, because it's a consumer right. Because consumer have a right to question the company that why I'm paying more. So we have to balance out, because we want the quality, we want the systems, and we want the safety, and we have to manage effective cost. I'm sure, I think we'll wish that I think we'll have this system very soon.
Thank you. So nice of you. The whole session has been very interesting. Now the mic is for the closing. Rakesh Bhai Sahab, please.
We also have Professor P.K. Joshi from JNU. If we can have him.
Yeah. Joshi ji, please.
Well, thank you very much. Today I was more of a listener, and I couldn't react much. But it was honestly very interesting lecture, very enriching. And I'm sure all the participants who are here, they must have got engrossed by the kind of presentation Mr. Bose made. And I must appreciate Madam Srivastava ji also for a wonderful coordination. And I understand some of our students who are expected, and they have not come in the same number, but I'm very sure they are going to miss it. But we thankfully, Professor Rakesh has kept a provision of Facebook availability and YouTube availability. So our students will be taking benefit of that. Thank you very much, Mr. Bose, for such an enlightening lecture. And we are sure, in times to come, we are going to learn something more than what you have said today by your actual experiments and on the field work. So nice of you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for giving this opportunity. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Joshi ji. I was searching your questions, so your comments matter a lot. Thank you, Sanjay ji, for correction. So nice of you.
Great. Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you. So now platform is at the hand of Rakesh Dubey ji.
Dr. Dubey, you are mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
First of all, before we go for the concluding, there are some more knowledgeable person I would like to, because I know them, they are quite knowledgeable and quite rich with the experience. Mr. Raj Kumar Gumandi ji is also here. So Gumandi ji, would you like to share something? Mr. Gumandi ji, Mr. Raj Kumar. Okay, probably he is not listening. Some technical problem may be there. I see one or more two persons. If any, Mr. Krishnamurti ji, Krishna Kutti, if he can share anything. Krishnan Kutti, Mr.
One more, Colonel Nigli. His question is there, Colonel Nigri, if he is there.
Anyway, this is my concluding remark. Really, sir, we are privileged by Shri and Bose Babuji, Shri D.P. Tiwari Sahab, Madam Rajni Srivastava ji from Allahabad University, Professor P.K. Joshi, Sanjay Srivastava ji, Gumandi ji, and other fellows. Really, it's a wonderful session. And as usual, Bose Babu makes always excellent presentation and share his excellent knowledge. And in most of the seminars and conferences, I have observed him that he is making a difference by his own presence. So, sir, thank you for making your experience sharing with us, with the audiences. I would like to definitely some points should be underlined for the future activities like that. Whatever you have highlighted, the threats, definitely we have to work on the threats jointly. 21 threats you have identified. We have to think it how we can address, and the biggest challenge is the coming CGDs by 2021. Definitely, you know, I have seen in Bhopal the stations which were lying vacant or lying not occupied now due to installation of the CGDs. A lot of pressure is coming on those stations. They are very important because they are located in the heart of the colonies in the residential area. They are important. And last 2 points which are very important for the local government. Local government, since Tiwari Sahab is the member of Local Self-Government Association, and I am also trying to associate myself. A lot of opportunities are there to sensitize local self-government for dedicated corridor and piping system. If you remember not recently, 1 year back, there was accident in Indore also due to some digging of municipal personnel. They damaged this Avantika gas pipeline. So these are the very, very important issues we would definitely underline in one of our concluding remarks after this webinar series happened. And I hope that Bose Babu Sahab will continue such type of support for educational and for skill development in this sector. So thank you, sir, for coming here and sharing your experience, and in the nutshell, whatever you communicated to all of us, everyone is benefited by your presence. I would like to thank श्री D.P. तिवारी साहब. तिवारी साहब का हमारे ऊपर हमेशा बरदस्त रहा है. He is always associate with me as a parent. So he always look of my relation and with him are like that. And he came in, I think within 1 hour he agreed. No, I will come. So I would like to thank Tiwari Sahab. Unfortunately, some technical things happened with his mobile, so he left and he informed me that I am leaving it. So thank you, sir, Tiwari sir. Madam Rajni Srivastava ji, nice coordination, nice making this session lively, and also raising the questions. Whatever you were having doubts about, you also try to clarify it, because these sessions are important to clarify our doubts, or if we have any question, we should ask those questions. I would like to thank Mr. Sanjay Srivastava ji, who is co-partner, Crop C. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Professor P.K. Joshi, who is the chairperson of Disaster Management Center of JNU, that he agreed to support this program, and students and also to the faculty member, they are coordinating on behalf of JNU. So Professor Joshi ji, thanks from my side, and I hope that you will also continue such type of support in future, and we will work for the mutual benefit. What Bose Babu Sahab has highlighted, we will definitely look at how we can go ahead with all these things. Last but not least, I would like to thank my this public partner or media partner or supporter, Mr. Health Crumb, for making all this event very wonderful, especially Mr. Ram and Mr. Narendra, those who are working and fixing the problem of speakers and the audiences. And thanks to all audiences and all students and eminent participants who participated here. And I understand that this program or this session might have been benefited to all of us. With this remark, I announce the closure of this session. Thank you to all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
If you permit me, I just wish to acknowledge Mr. Bose Babu's daughter for such a wonderful slides. God bless her and all the wishes to her for making those slides for you.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Started his
Wonderful.
talk.
For your wishes.
Yeah, he
Very
mentioned
nice.
that, and it is very impressive that your daughter is helping you in these kind of things. This is what we get, benefit of our students also. So
Bright future for her also.
yeah,
She's doing third year electrical engineering.
Wonderful.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice.
Thank
Whole
you.
session has been. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thanks all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.